Hello, listeners, and welcome to Reliving the Extreme. Nate Maxon here with you. Just wanted to come on before we start the show, or before I play the show for you, and let you know you will hear some choppiness in the show this week. I did have some internet issues. They were all my fault this week, nobody else's, so I apologize for that. But still a great show. We had a great time and got an hour out of this doozy of an episode of ECW that we watched this week from March the 22nd, 1994. Before we start the show, I do want to let you know that if you have not yet, please check out WrestleNet Radio. It is 24/7, 365 wrestling talk. Episodes of this show are there. The We Can't Wrestle podcast. Virtual asylum shows with your favorite stars of professional wrestling. All kinds of stuff on there. Our new partners, the Tornado Tag podcast, are on there as well. It is Something is always on, and all you have to do is go to the Google Play Store and download the WrestleNet Radio app. Or, if you have an Apple phone, you can go to the site www.tinyurl.com/WrestleNet Radio. Check it out today. We're very proud of this and enjoy it. So anyway, let's get into it. Reliving the Extreme, that's what you all came here for. Reliving the Extreme, March 22nd, 1994. It's a doozy. This week on Reliving the Extreme, we're all regretting our lives right now and regretting doing this podcast, possibly. I'm Nate Maxon, everybody, along with my brother Aaron.
Hello.
And Mr. Chad Austin as well.
Hey, what's up, peoples?
We are reviewing this week the episode of ECW from March 22nd, 1994, and we're going to try to give you an hour. We really are. Right, guys? We're going to give it the old Cabrini College try here.
It's going to be an hour. It's not going to necessarily involve the whole entire ECW show.
So is there anything we want to touch on before we get into this doozy?
Well, I don't know. Aaron, I was going to ask you guys, have you seen any good matches recently?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a show, Aaron.
For a minute.
You kind of got to fucking elaborate a little bit.
Well, I saw a couple good matches this week.
All right, how about this? Did you like Kenny Omega and Daniel Bryanson?
I did. I did enjoy that match very much. I didn't like the finish, but I liked the match.
Why did you like the finish? I mean, what did you want?
I don't know.
A leg drop?
I wanted somebody to win.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with that assessment, but I think what they did was, I think it was great for the fact that they established there was time limits, and it didn't bury either one of the guys. What were you going to do? You're going to bury Brian, or you going to put Brian over?
I'd have him lose, honestly.
Okay. Well, do you work there?
No.
All right. I just looked at it as like, well, it could have, you're right in the sense that they could have done anything, and I would have been like, damn, I would have never saw that coming,
I didn't watch the match, but I saw what the finish. I think that the finish essentially, tell me if you think I'm off base, Chad. I think it was good just because you're beginning something. This is just starting between these two guys. So in the modern era of putting your big match out there 2 weeks after the two guys even breathe on each other, if that's how wrestling's going to be, then this is the beginning of something. So you're probably going to have a series, obviously, of matches between these guys. The next one being a title. Sense? Yeah, the next one maybe being a title match. Maybe Brian goes over, maybe he doesn't, or maybe you make him chase it a little longer.
Or maybe they go an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because they definitely set a precedent, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, how many times in AEW have they established a 30-minute time limit? Nothing in my...
Yeah, well, no, I was going to say they've barely established rules to begin with. This was a refreshing change.
That's what I was trying to formulate. I was trying to formulate my thoughts when I was saying that I would have had Brian lose, because they've always talked about being time limit and sports entertainment or sports based, and fucking wins and losses and stuff matter. So obviously they held that because he didn't get the title shot, because they said, it's your first match. Why would you get a title shot? Which I actually liked that.
Mm-hmm.
But have him lose and then have him ask Omega for a rematch, and Omega go, no, I fucking beat you. And then just go on just like this epic undefeated streak, like almost Goldberg-esque, and then in 6 months, be like, this dude has not been pinned in 6 months. He's got the best record in the business. Now you have no reason to say you can't wrestle this guy, Kenny.
Yeah, I agree.
Seeing it holds the belt that long, which he should. That's what I would do.
I also could have went the route where I'm piggybacking on what Aaron said was I would have had Brian. You could have had Brian lose, and then had him get up and be like, "Damn, like I didn't realize you guys were this good," you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't expect this. This is not what I expected. So I better
listen to the drive-through. They were wrong about you, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, them boys had the wrong story about you. But yeah, I would have. That could have been the same thing, right? You know,
mm-hmm.
Had Brian lose, and then him be like, "I didn't expect AEW to be this tough," you know?
Yeah. And there's so much story you can tell with, fuck finishes and stuff, you know, because Omega's part of a group, so that's built in. You know, that's built in there. What did you think of? What do you think, Chad, of the MJF Pillman Jr. stuff? I don't think we discussed it on the show. Do you think that the MJ, I understand the heel heat and all that, but do you think the MJF promos were over the line and cheap? Yeah. Because, I said that about the Eddie's Down There promos back when Randy Orton did those. So, I don't know. I'm actually, everybody I talk to that I know watches wrestling, I'm asking them because I want to know what the general opinion is of that.
Of course they were too far. but that's fucking pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody seen 1985 WCW like Jim Cornette promos? You know, where he's talking about
Challenger.
Baby Doll.
Yeah.
Nothing. And this is according to me. I'm not speaking for the whole entire public whatsoever, but nothing to me is off limits when it comes to pro wrestling. Especially if it's true.
Right.
I'm not saying you have to dig into somebody's past that nobody knows about to make it true. But if something comes out, like, you know, let's just take like the Duggan Sheik thing. You know what I mean? That was a big deal. So do something with that. But don't dig into somebody's past. You know,
right.
Just for the sake of doing it. If nobody knows what the hell you're talking about. But yeah. I think Pillman was a great guy because I said, I don't know, maybe it was last week before, whatever, MJF needs to get his heat back. He's got to get his heat back because they got to establish some heels there, like real heels there. Mm-hmm. And little Pillman, whatever his name is, little Brian Pillman.
little Brian Pillman.
You know? So what's it going to hurt if you beat him, you know?
Right.
It's not like he was like the WWE champion and headlined in WrestleMania 9 or anything. He watched WrestleMania 9. Or maybe he wasn't even alive then.
I don't even know if he was alive at WrestleMania 9.
But you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. And I guess one more thing, we'll just go ahead and do it. We'll address the elephant in the room before we get into the show. Tommy Dreamer's on this show, but we'll talk about Dark Side of the Ring here. I'm sure everybody that listens to this show listens to wrestling podcasts and is in wrestling social media, so you've heard every motherfucker's opinion on this thing. Every motherfucker with a keyboard has given their opinion on this thing. So I guess us motherfuckers could give our opinion on it too. I personally think Tommy Dreamer got a raw deal.
Well, you're an idiot. And this is your show, but you're an idiot.
And the reason I say it is because I don't think that, and I know I'm probably in the minority because I know how Aaron thinks about it. Tommy Dreamer didn't say anything on this show that I haven't heard 100 other wrestlers say on 100 other shoot interviews about Ric Flair.
Well, he wasn't on that. They weren't on that show.
Right, and I understand that. But
it wasn't what he said about Ric Flair necessarily that brought the heat. It was the fact that he attacked that lady and was basically saying that she took money and and was basically, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say disgracing her, but like dismissing her complaint. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's like I told Archie when we were talking about it.
Archie?
He wasn't on here, but anyway, what everything Flair did in the 80s and in the 90s and all that was in the wrestling bubble.
Mm-hmm.
And here you brought a civilian into it. You brought somebody into it that didn't want to have anything to do with it.
Tommy didn't do himself any favors by trying to describe the whole situation. You know?
No, you're right. I mean, he did step in a woke pile of shit. You're right. I mean, he should have just kept his mouth shut, and but I don't know. I think that I don't know. I don't think that it was grounds for dismissal from your job. To be honest,
there was no way for them not to talk about it. But the way he went about talking about it was the wrong way. Like, he should have said, "This is what I know happened."
I agree, Aaron. I think you're 100% right.
And then just said, "Look, these are the facts. This is what I know happened." And when they say, "What do you think about it?" you say, "I'm not going to say what I think about it." At least not while that camera's on. You know what I mean?
Did Tommy even say that he wasn't even on the plane?
Yeah, I don't think he was.
Well, he said he wasn't even on the plane.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
So, what the fuck are they interviewing you for?
Well, true. Like, why have you even put yourself in this position?
Yeah. So you go on camera and you pretty much make a fool out of yourself saying, well, it was just Ric Flair being Ric Flair. Well, that was fucking great 30 years ago, But 30 years ago, Ric Flair wasn't sexually assaulting flight attendants. Or if he was, it wasn't fucking known to any of us, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So... I look at Tommy Dreamer as in the best thing he could have did was just shut the fuck up and not say anything. And then he wouldn't be in this position. You know what I mean?
Right.
And now he's in this position where he got suspended?
Yeah. He'll never work in the business again at this point. I mean, he's been ostracized over this. I don't know. I know he's canceled he's canceled appearances and stuff that he had coming up and all kind of shit. Yeah. So he's done. Done. He's out.
That's a shame. Oh, poor Tommy.
He had to pull out a Legends of Hambone at the last minute.
Oh, well, I mean.
Better chance for you to win.
There you go, Aaron. I think you just discovered who your Hambone was going to be. But the only problem is you might not be able to fucking undo that Hambone. He might carry that trophy around like when he goes to the ring. Well, never mind. When he goes to bed, let's put it that way.
When he goes to that Target that Shane Douglas runs.
The 24/7 Hambone.
But him and Shane Douglas are working at Target together now.
Yeah.
And then Shane brings a referee in and tries to pin him for the Hambone. It's a 24/7.
Alfonso works there too.
Yeah. Get him,
like,
Daddy.
Dude, Tommy's like, dude, I'd really like to be a cashier. And Shane's like, we're going to have to put you in the back for like 6 months. Can't see you here.
I mean,
you're unloading the truck, Dreamer.
That shit you said on Dark Side of the Ring, man, we can't put you on the floor. But hey, Fonzie, go out there and work the toys.
You got it, Daddy.
Yeah. Re-merchandise AEW figures. All right, Daddy.
Send them right down the middle. Right down the middle.
Could you imagine a fucking like a store that had like Tommy Dreamer, like Bill Alfonso, and like Sandman all working at it? Just hey, sir, where are the AEW figures? And then you got Sandman with a cigarette sticking. I don't know.
I don't fucking know. What do you?
And then you go ask Tommy Dreamer, and he's sexually harassing somebody in the break room. But he thinks he's not.
Ric Flair did it.
Yeah. Well, Tommy Dreamer, you're not Ric Flair.
Other developments here. I know Chad and I were talking before we went on the air. We heard about the pizza debacle, the Sal's Pizza or whatever it was that you were working at. I think Aaron correlated it to Sal Balomo somehow, but and now Chad is working for DoorDash, correct?
Fuck yeah, I'm dashing it up, busting doors down with my dashing.
Now you're your own boss.
Yeah, but I ain't doing shit. The cool thing is, I get a little map that tells me when it's busy. And then I can just go like, all right, well, you're busy in my area. I had one person, like for some reason, my map told me it got busy where I live at. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to jump on it. And I jumped on it. It was one delivery. I'm like, that's it? That's what you call busy?
That's false advertising.
Yeah. Well, whatever. At least I got out of the house. I got to listen to fucking, Jim Cornette's nonsense for a while. And it's not even like I need to work. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it is just about getting away.
Yeah. I just need to get out of the house. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
My parents left me a pretty good sum of money. Not like Archie Mitchell money. Don't get me wrong. I don't have that kind of money, but my parents left me enough money that I really can just pretty much just do whatever I want.
And the thing about the delivery thing, like for years in my 20s, I delivered furniture for a living. Man, you go to people's homes and you get to see some characters. You get to see some characters out there when you're doing deliveries of stuff, and a lot of people don't give a fuck. They answer the door in interesting outfits and such. It's definitely that was oh man, it was so many adventures having to go into people's houses because people are, first of all, everybody's disgusting. Just so everybody else knows, when you think you're looking around, this person's probably got a nice clean house or nice this. Everybody's disgusting. Everybody's got fucking shit on the floor. Not literal shit, but you know what I mean.
Do you know what was on the other night on the IFC channel? Revenge of the Nerds. Revenge of the Nerds is one of my favorite movies of all time. I recorded it. I saved it. I watched it again. One of my favorite scenes is when all the nerds go to the people's houses to look for housing and the people they run into. And I'm just like, yeah, these are the same rubes that I see. And you know who the one guy is? The one guy's Big Jim Harris, right?
Is it?
Yeah, from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I remember that now, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my God, that's one of my favorite movies. But yeah, that's what I thought of when I'm going to these fucking rubes' houses. Like, what am I doing? I'm thinking about like kicking somebody in the gut and RKOing them out of nowhere because they've already paid me.
Yeah, they're Panera Bread just everywhere. Just all over the porch.
There you go.
Well, do you think we can dig into this show a little bit?
Well, I got 45 minutes to kill.
Aaron, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm good.
You ready? It is March the 22nd, 1994, ladies and gentlemen, the episode of ECW. And Chad's not wrong when he uses the expression recap championship wrestling, because there is a whole lot of recapping going on here on this show. It's almost like a 45-minute ECW event center with a couple of matches in there that they had left over from the taping. We start off the show with footage from Sabu and Taz from last week, with Taz winning the TV title.
Yeah, can you just imagine, like, if you were a fan, like, didn't we talk about this like previous shows, Aaron? You might know, like how people were anticipating watching the ECW on the Tuesday night, whenever it was that came out in their hometown, like, but then when they get the show, it's an hour, right? But when they get the show, they are they sitting there going, yeah, it's ECW, but it's last week's ECW. Like, are they excited? Like, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we saw this.
What say you, Aaron?
It's like you guys are saying, this is a heavy recap show, and I know they're probably trying to get people to go to Valley Forge or whatever, but it's like the people that are going to go to Valley Forge are going to go to Valley Forge. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not gaining anybody that's just like, oh, that seems interesting, I'm going to go watch this now. Like you've already got your audience. Just keep doing your show.
Yeah, but Valley Forge isn't really close to Philly. It's at least, if it's not an hour, it's at least 45 minutes away. It's not like it's in the city, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
Not Swanson.
They're trying to sell... They're trying to sell a show. That's what I'm saying. They're trying to sell people to go to this show that are already going to be going to the show. So there's no need to do all this fucking recapping, other than the fact that they probably didn't have anything else.
Yeah.
They're like, what do we have left? We have a Dreamer, or we have a Douglas Tanaka match. We'll get to that later. We show Todd Gordon outside the Valley Forge Music Center. And all I have is Todd Gordon outside Valley Forge hyping the card. Nice scarf, Todd.
Yeah, Todd's terrible. I mean, that's pretty much all I gotta say. Is Todd's terrible.
And his stupid hat and his stupid sunglasses. And yeah, I'd have preferred Maddie over this.
Oof.
Woof. Yeah, you ain't kidding. That's a doozy. You wanted Maddie?
At least I would have had some material to work with. Boring ass Todd Gordon.
Yeah, why does Todd always seem so fucking lame? Like his enthusiasm seems so like unenthusiastic. You know what I mean?
It's almost you've nailed it. I was just gonna say before you said that he tries so hard it comes off as, I guess, phony. I don't know. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but he tries too hard, and then he looks like a dope.
Like I said, unenthusiastic.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, that's Todd Gordon in a nutshell. We get a video for Road Warrior Hawk, who at this point they're wasting money on.
You ain't kidding, dude.
I don't know how much.
I mean, what do you think that is? You think it's probably like 15, 25?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you would be the expert. You know, you worked in this area at this time. For somebody of his, I guess, stature, was that about standard, 15 to 25?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, if that was probably like a 3-day weekend, I would assume, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because of the Valley Forge thing. So that was probably a 3-day weekend. So I'm guessing if it was a one-time deal, it would have been 25. I'm assuming. But if it was a 3-day deal, I might guess it would have been 1,000 to 15. I mean, that's just me speculating. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hold it, and write it in stone.
I did.
Would
Shazam.
they be?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, because I did the same thing. But you go right ahead with it.
I did Shazam the song. I'm like, who is this?
Oh, good Lord! Here we go.
A real song, and it's a song called "Fight" by a guy named Angus Khan.
Angus Khan, yes. I did the same thing. I was like, "Fuck is this?"
I don't know if this is Tony's brother or what, but
or Killers.
The song's terrible. Like I said, the money value that they're getting out of Hawk at this point is not, to me, a return. They probably look at it as a return. They probably look at him as a draw, and maybe he was. I could be full of shit. I don't know.
I mean, no, I don't think you were at all. I don't think anybody spent $1 extra, or it got one person to drive 1 extra mile, or put $1 extra in their gas tank to go to fucking see Road Warrior Hawk. I think it was just like Aaron or Nate, if I can quote one of your things, it was putting a hat on a hat. I love that saying, by the way.
I do too. Totally stole it from Cornette.
I try to fit it in any time that I can.
Totally stole it from Cornette, but I stole it and I kept it because I love it too. I say it at work all the time. Why the fuck are we putting a hat on a hat? Do you think? I guess this is.
Sorry, I said the Cornette expression. I said the Cornette expression because this guy at work was like, it was his project or whatever, and I was supposed to be helping him. He was like, "What do you think we should do here?" And I was like, "You're the one fucking the dog. I'm just holding its head." He was like, "What?"
God bless Cornette.
And it's giving us. Reminded me, it's like not everybody knows what I'm talking about. Like,
right? Yeah,
we'd all be mutes
if it wasn't for his euphemisms. Yeah. How would I ever find anything witty to say without Jim Cornette to let me know?
Yeah, instead of just shut the fuck up. Like that's so easy. Now you can say all kinds of witty shit thanks to the Almighty.
I guess off base question, or maybe not. We were talking about Hawk being a draw. Do you think it's the opposite if you throw Animal into the mix, and if they would have been together, the Road Warriors as a tag team? Do you think that would have helped the house? Because you've just got Road Warrior Hawk, one half of the Road Warriors. It's kind of uninspiring. But if you were to say we have both of the Road Warriors, I know it didn't happen, but I guess I'm just trying to put it in perspective. If they would have been there as an attraction together, that might have made some difference. I think
it would have never happened. Never happened. Like there is no.
I don't think Animal would have did it, and two, I don't know if he would have been able to afford both of them.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, for not only for reasons that were already given, but no, it was not going to happen.
Mm.
I mean, why? What were you going to do? Bring the Road Warriors in and put? I mean, because they always brag about how they have like 1,100 people in the ECW arena. What are they going to say? They put 13,000? You know, what are they, AEW all of a sudden? You know, we got 13,194 people.
And they're all in the key demo.
Yeah, it's that you know. There's no way Paul could have booked Animal and Hawk, and I just didn't. I just never saw. Honestly, this is just me personally. No offense to the late Mike, but I just never saw any value in Hawk, like by himself.
I agree with you. I absolutely agree. Same with you know, when they're bringing in Neidhart. You know, I mean, come on.
God, Aaron, you still had a problem picking your ham bone?
Aaron? Oh, it looks like he's frozen.
I think he's the ham bone.
Yeah,
I just don't think that there's no way Paul could have got Animal and Hawk, because look at it this way. If Hawk was, like I said, just say Hawk was 1,500. Say Animal was 2,500. Separately speaking, do you think the tag team would have been $5,000?
No, because the tag team probably would have been between 7 and 10, don't you think?
Well, that's what I'm asking. Like, it would have been considerably more, right?
Yeah. The value goes up, way up when they're actually a tag team. Yes.
So instead of having Road Warrior Hawk team up with JT Smith or somebody, they could have had Animal there. Are you back, Aaron?
I think so.
All right.
I don't know what's going on.
Well, if you think so, then we're going with that. That's The next match that we have here is the Bruise Brothers. This is actually probably the best fucking thing on this show. I'm just saying. Because it is the Bruise Brothers being the Bruise Brothers going over two jobbers in a squash. That's exactly what it is. It serves every purpose it should serve.
Well, you know who one of the jobbers are, right?
Well, I wrote their names down here. Let's see. Chris Ford and Damian Stone, right? That's what they're being called on the show anyway.
Well, you know who Chris Ford is?
I do not.
Devin Storm.
Ah.
Yeah, I thought it was, but I wasn't sure because you didn't really get a good look at him because he was just on the ground. So
no.
So,
it's not like you had a big Macho Man introduction.
Yeah, but like when I'm looking at the outfit, that's who I thought it was. But I was like, they didn't call him that, so that must be his real name or whatever. But I was just
that's his real name.
So I thought it was, but I wasn't sure.
So basically, it was the Bruise Brothers against Devin Storm and Little Guido.
So Damian Stone was Little Guido. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize either one of them.
Because you didn't get a chance to. They tossed them motherfuckers around. You know?
When we started this show, I did not think that I was going to have, like, every week on this show, I'm giving high praise to Ron and Don Harris. Because I was not a big fan of Ron and Don Harris in the WWF or WCW or any of that. But you watch them in ECW and Smoky Mountain, and it's just a completely different animal.
Come on, man. I mean, week after week, wasn't it you, Aaron? Me and you both were like, why weren't these two guys, you know, used bigger in all them promotions? I guess they were bigger. I guess they were bigger attributes to themselves. You know. I guess you know what I mean. Like they were bigger problems to themselves.
They got in their own way a lot.
Which I mean, when you're that big, it's kind of hard to not get in your own way.
I'm just tripping over my big ass feet. Sorry.
I would love. I think the next time that I talk to Jim Cornette, I'm going to ask him about why. I think I will. I think I might reach out to Jim in the next few days or few weeks and ask him why he thinks that the Harris brothers didn't reach any more success than they did, because we talked about this on the show week after week.
Every week, how good they are.
And if you can't get a hold of them, email Charlie from Starkville and have Charlie from Starksville email Brian Last, and then you'll get your answer.
I got a third party him.
Telephone, telegram, tell a Charlie from Starkville. Yes.
I mean, do you think it's his address? It's Charlie from at Starksville, Mississippi.com.
All right. Joey's in the Eagles Nest, and another recap. Here we get the recap of the Tommy Dreamer Jimmy Snuka feud. They are going to be facing off in 4 days at the Valley Forge show. By the way, I looked and scoured. I could not find a copy of that show, so we won't be able to watch that one. But,
the Valley Forge show?
Yeah, I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah, I think that's one of the missing shows.
Okay.
I think that's one of the ones that I can't think of the guy's name. I mean, I'm sure it'll come to me when we're done recording. But I think that's one of the ones that the guy held up when Paulie broke off deals with the guy from the production studio. I think that was one of the shows.
I actually forgot. I was actually going to send you guys the clip as a joke and be like, all right, guys, here it is. We can watch it. But the only thing that I found that was the Valley Forge show was some dude recreating it on his Xbox with his creator wrestlers.
Was I on it?
I didn't watch the video. It started up, and as I saw what it was, and I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And then
all I remember was walking because they showed the 911 promo the video. I mean, we'll get there on the show, but they showed the video of 911 where they couldn't have chokeslammed me more times. Mm-hmm. Me and Mikey look like we should be at a bed and breakfast, like rehabilitating. You know what I mean? And
yes.
And then at the Valley Forge show, I remember. Did we even talk about this on the show where I had gotten Hack Myers a job?
Where
right?
they put you in the mask?
Yeah, but Hack Myers wanted to wear the mask, but Paul said put the mask on Chad. But I was still wearing a shitty-ass neon orange outfit. And we're walking down the steps, and the guy goes, Jobber 1, Jobber 2. and we all knew, like, yeah, we're going. Like, it sucks when you're not walking down the aisle to go. You're walking down the steps. You know? Like,
you're walking behind the guy with the hot dogs.
Yeah, it was like The Price is Right. Except The Price is Right was I was getting chokeslammed. It was like, come on down.
What's your opening bid? Let's go with 911.
Yeah, let's go with Mash Jabroni Chokeslam.
We have a oh man. This next segment was rough.
Oof.
It's Joey Styles and Jason. Jason's cutting what he thinks is a fired up Joey was funny. Joey was funny in this segment. Joey was funny in the back with the smiling and his facials and stuff like that. But Jason was rough to watch here. I don't know. I'm hoping you guys agree with me because
Jason is no longer the sexiest man alive. That is no longer his name.
Okay.
Jason's new name is Jason the Hamboniest Hambone alive.
Good God. I oh my God.
How do you like my hambone?
I'm trying to be serious here for a second. If I can be serious for a second, I swear I thought this was probably Jason's best promo ever. I thought it was because when he got serious, I was like, all right, well, listen to this guy. He's talking about all the shit that he's been through as a job guy in the WWE, you know, all that other stuff. And then, like, when he kept flicking his, like, head around and I kept looking at the back of his head and I just like, why didn't he say, how do you like my fucking awful hair in the back? Like, why wouldn't he do something about that? But I actually thought that was probably one of Jason's best promos ever. I mean, I'm shocked that you guys didn't look at it that way.
Yeah, and I don't know if it wasn't even necessarily the content, maybe the delivery. I don't know. It's about his voice.
That's in my notes. Like I've never heard anybody talk like him. You know what I mean? Like people have similar voices. Yeah, it's like I don't know if that's how he really talks or if he thinks that's how his character should talk or whatever. But this dude's the fucking Undertaker of ham bones, man.
Yeah, but he was
there's ham bones, and then there's Jason.
He was going to buy Todd a toupee, though. He did say that.
Yes, your bald head. Well, see, and that's the thing too. He puts. I think sometimes he tries too hard. Like, I'm going to get you a toupee for your bald head. Well, obviously, it's for his bald head. And I mean, I don't know, his voice
emphasizes the wrong words, and it's like,
yeah.
Oh.
Well, I guess we can agree to disagree on this one, but I thought this was Jason's best promo, way to date. It was way better than "How do you like my suit?" All that. He was like it was kind of a sense of urgency. Because he realized shit's getting I'm getting beat up over here. You know what I mean?
He feels backed against the wall in peril. Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess you guys didn't like it, so yeah, that's the way it goes. No big deal.
Like I said, I thought Joey was funny behind him. Like when he would mention that he's going to get his head, or he's going to have to be in the ring with Road Warrior Hawk or whatever, and Joey flashes a big smile and then does the whole "oh no, I wasn't smiling" thing. I thought that was fun. Up next, we have the Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla on the
Fuck yeah. Chris Jericho
in the ECW show here. It is Rockin' Rebel and the Pitbulls against the Young Dragons, who we have seen in the past.
Or as Fat Sign Guy said, did you see his sign?
Yes, yeah. Young Drag Queens. Young Drag Queens. There was a sign in the audience, Young Drag Queens.
Yep.
And I think also... I think Jason borrowed a pair of woman's pants. Like he was like, "Oh, I have no pants," and he was like,
borrowed?
"Hey, yeah." He was like, "Hey, Nancy, can I borrow your leather pants?"
I don't think Nancy was there.
Or if she was, she split after Jason asked him for her pants.
Split. If he borrowed Nancy's pants and he wore them, then they split.
Oh, them were some tight ass leather pants.
Dude.
No man should be wearing that.
You ain't kidding, man.
How do you like my leather pants?
Probably tell what religion they were so tight you could probably tell what religion he was.
No. All right, that's fucking great. the rebel and the pitbull versus the young. Shut up, Aaron. You're cracking me up. We ain't got time for this. We're not here. Oh my God, my eyes are starting to water because I'm laughing. But they did a couple of great spots, like not great spots, but the Young Dragons took like unbelievable bumps for how bad Rebel and Pitbull were. Or we know Rebel's dead, but is Gary still alive?
Yeah.
Oh, he's the
guy that said Vince owns AEW.
Yes, he's the one that said Vince owns AEW.
So his career's dead. But...
yes. But yeah, like you said, I mean, this was it seems like in the ECW shows that we're watching right now, at least the TV shows, because we haven't got to really watch many of the super shows yet. But on the TV shows, the best matches are the squash matches.
Well, that's what TV should be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I grew up on that. I don't know about you two fucking goofs, but I grew up on watching Brian Duffy against fucking,
Yep.
Against the big star already in the ring. 20,000 people out in Sheboygan watching the Nasty Boys beat up 2 fucking slices of ham.
And Aaron, I don't know if you were the person I was talking to about it or who it was, but literally I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. It's back then a wrestler could not be good, but if he had cool squash matches, I thought he was cool.
Dude, I'm still laughing over Aaron. God. Go ahead, you can keep talking. I'll just keep laughing. Oh off camera. Like, good night, Adrian Street. Holy shit. There's not a whole lot of stuff that pops me nowadays, put it that way.
The spot at the end of this match with the table, I'm pretty sure the young dragon, whichever one it was supposed to go through that table when he got put to the outside of the ring.
That was Mikey. I bet you it was Mikey.
Because
Mikey was the one who took the finish.
Okay. Well, when they did this table spot on the outside, Pitbull threw the one young dragon over the ropes and he hit the table and didn't go through it. And then the Rebel just elbows this dude through the table. Yeah. So that's why I'm thinking that the table was supposed to break when he went over the ropes, and it didn't. So Rebel just did it to make himself look like the strongest wrestler in the history of wrestlers.
He's like, fuck yeah. He's like, watch this.
All right. I was like, Jesus Christ, it's the most impressive it's the most impressive elbow in wrestling history. Look at that. Put a motherfucker through a table.
I can't even keep up with my notes anymore. The show is going off the rails. Where I can't even read my notes. God. I hope this show's over because I have to go back to not delivering pizzas. God. Oh yeah, isn't one of the next things we have coming up the JT Smith thing or whatever?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, video packages for Taz and then a video package for JT Smith. Yep, they're going to be later on in the show wrestling for the TV title, but the next match...
You don't want to talk about that JT video?
Go ahead.
Just him getting his ass kicked the entire time. and like WWE superimposed like music that you'd hear in like a fucking Hobbit movie or something like that. Like, what was that music?
Dude, I was watching the video going, all right, JT Smith going for the TV title. He's getting beat up.
And that fucking music.
And then I was, oh my God. I just kept saying, why is JT Smith, why are they showing him just getting beat up the whole entire time? And why is this the worst Wasp cover band I've ever heard in my entire life? Like doing the music for this.
Like I thought it sounded like some kind of music like where you'd get like a montage in the middle of like fucking Lord of the Rings, or like the hobbits are walking through the woods or whatever.
That music. Oh, I got you. Yeah. That was completely different than the ones they played earlier.
Yeah, this was fucking just him getting his ass kicked to some like terrible.
I mean, how is that gonna make you want to watch later on in the show? I mean, we got JT Smith against who was it? Whoever the champion is, I forgot. Taz, yeah. Like watch JT Smith, and then they show him getting like suplex on his head, and when he said Philadelphia's favorite son, and I was like, wait a minute, SD Jones is Philadelphia's favorite son. Maybe JT Smith could be Philadelphia's favorite stepson.
That's a great moniker. That's a fantastic moniker.
Yeah, but SD Jones is always Philadelphia's favorite son, at least as far as I've been alive.
Like if they wanted to show him getting hurt or whatever, the best thing they could have done was show that Mike Awesome spot, okay, where he gets bent in half, and then be like, look, this happened to JT Smith. And this motherfucker is still walking around. You know what I mean? Like mm-hmm. that would be something. Like it would be like, this guy, don't sell him short. He's a tough ass son of a bitch. He got fucking bent in half. The back of his head touched his ass, and he still got up and fucking walked off.
The back of his head touched his ass.
Aaron.
Okay.
Aaron, I have a question for you, and I know you're going to tell me. You're going to be like, "Look, motherfucker, you're overthinking this show way too much. You're overthinking it way too much than these guys would." Do you think they showed him getting beat up repeatedly so that when he won at the end, it looked like the upset that it was?
Handle that.
It's possible. Paulie's not dumb, obviously, but put some emphasis on it. Don't just be like, oh, like just put it out there cold and just make this video. This ass.
You're right. No, and I'm not disagreeing at all.
Put it out there saying, look, JT Smith, he's an underdog. We don't have a lot of highlights of him. You know?
yeah.
We're a music video company, so we got to do something.
We sure are proud of him.
He tries really hard.
That's a hell of a way to highlight him by he's saying we don't have a whole lot of highlights of him. I mean, JT Smith, we're very proud of him. There ain't too much to show, but we're proud of him. It's like your gay son who's playing softball. Oh, good night.
The only video I have of him is trying to catch butterflies with his hat.
God. All right. This show's completely gone off the rails. Aaron, you've outdone yourself tonight. I swear to God. I can't get my composure. Where's Archie Mitchell?
Stuck in traffic.
The next match is Shane Douglas and Pat Tanaka. Yes, Pat Tanaka is still around, ladies and gentlemen. The highlight of this match, Sherry Martel.
Oh, of course it is. Because we talk about this every single week. The highlight of almost every single show is Sherry Martel, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, any show that she's on.
She didn't
Absolutely.
pop me, though. She popped me because she was yelling. She was talking shit to the ref. And he did something she didn't like, and she was like, "Pay attention, you stupid asshole!"
Yeah, but how often does the camera ever pick that up? You're great, Aaron. That's right. How often does the camera ever pick that up?
Yeah,
she's yelling, "You stupid ref!" And I'm thinking, like, I actually was sitting there watching it, going, "That's great, Sherry," because people like Sherry, I hate to say it, are basically what, a dime a dozen, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Women in wrestling.
Yes.
You can pretty much just grab any girl, plug them into that spot. But Sherry, like, how many times on the show that we've always talked about it, Nate, that Sherry is just like one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah. Two cuts above. Above.
I mean, at this time, he's got the two best female ballets of all time, in my opinion, on his fucking show. Woman and Sherry are the best.
Woman's still there?
Yeah. She's still
working?
Yeah, she's with Taz.
Oh, all right. I forgot she still works here.
The like I said, the match is pretty basic. Not a lot to write home about.
Yeah, the best part is that Sherry had the best offense in the whole.
Yes, she did.
That's pretty pathetic. I wrote Sherry has the best offense in the whole entire match.
So we get we get another recap here. Tommy Cairo and the Sandman, their feud recap. We get to see that hillbilly wedding footage or whatever of Sandman's again.
Oh,
and then
this storyline's going to get interesting soon, though.
Yes.
Tommy's going to be laying pipe in Peach County here soon, so it'll be good.
Did you sound like Bubba Ray trying to tell LaGreca to hang on about retribution? Just hang on.
It's going somewhere.
It's not going anywhere. That's exactly what it sounds like. Hang on. No.
And then we are told next that everybody's coming to Valley Forge because they want to see. That's right, 911. And then we get a video for said 911. Shazam didn't give me a song for that one. It was unfortunately, we can't even find it.
I tried. Like, I held it up to the speaker because, like, I was sitting in my chair. I was like, "Oh, come on, tell me what this is." I was like, maybe it can't hear it, so I put it right by the speaker. And you know what my Shazam, the text actually said?
But
it said, "Hold on, this is pretty tough."
That's fantastic.
Dude, that's why I thought I wish it would have been Wasp.
It was so bad. I thought it was Fozzy.
Oh my goodness. See, I'm a big fan of Wasp, and I was like, if this is Wasp, this had to be like their 6th album. You know, like the first 2 are like, yeah, man, that's great stuff. And then you haven't heard from them for 19 years. And then you put an album out and be like, oh, this is the new Wasp.
This is awful.
It sounds like Wasp, but it's not really Wasp.
The main event of this show is, of course, as we talked about earlier, JT Smith and the Tasmaniac for the ECW Television Championship. The Public Enemy gets involved in this. Aaron, can you run down the finish for me?
It was kind of a blur, but
yeah, it was.
A bunch of shit happens. Public Enemy comes out, tries to attack woman, and Kevin Sullivan comes out and gets involved and ends up accidentally knocking Taz off the top rope. I think it's Johnny hits JT, and JT just falls onto Taz and pins him 1, 2, 3. And the people actually lost their shit. I mean, they popped for it. And
so JT, he is their favorite stepson.
And yeah. So
what do you mean they lost their shit? Like they were looking around the floor for like their keys and stuff. I don't think. Yeah, well, I guess I'll give you the kind of pop for it. I still think lost their shit was they were looking for stuff on the floor, missing change,
and then that happened. Then
at the end of this, Kevin Sullivan comes out. Oh,
yeah, and then all the Valley Forged and Hell guys come out and have a big schmoz,
and they play some terrible music for 3.5 minutes here.
Yeah, they played Angus fucking Khan again.
Yes. So that's Road Warrior Hawk's new music.
And spoiler alert, fucking Angus Khan is the ham bone of the week.
Right there on my notes, right after it says JT versus Taz, I wrote, I'm done. Because I didn't know how much there was more to watch, but I was just going to tell you guys, I can't do this. I'm not watching anymore. And luckily, the whole entire, he interfered and everything was, done. And then it was a big brawl at the end of the show. And I'm thinking, there can't be anything left. There can't be. And then when I saw the fucking ECW thing at the bottom going, oh, my God, thank fucking God. Because I was done. I was literally going to turn it off and just ride your guys' notes for the rest of the show. And be like, whatever I say, I was just going to go okay, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, Aaron. I totally agree. Absolutely.
How about that fucking JT Smith? Fuck.
But luckily, like you said, it was over. And it's another episode of ECW in the books. I gave this show a dud rating.
I gave this show negative Angus Khans.
Damn, I gave it.
This show was bad, bad.
Yeah, it was sloppy. It was poorly produced. There wasn't a lot of content, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it can be all be ingredients of that. There wasn't a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
And the only reason why I'm going to give the show a D was because of Aaron.
Don't put that on me.
No, that's all about. You made me laugh about that. Otherwise, I would just threw my pencil in the air and said, "Look, guys, you got to find somebody. You got to talk to Paul Loria."
Get Tommy Cairo out of bed to see if he'll have.
I can't. you gotta speak to one half of the Young Dragons because I can't do this anymore. But Aaron made it all the worthwhile, and I'm still fucking laughing over it. But yeah, it was terrible.
And I'm in total agreement.
Oh my God!
This is the first show, honestly. If we wouldn't have front loaded it with something, we wouldn't have got an hour. That's how bad it was.
No, No. There's no way this would have got an hour. No way.
Well, we got an hour out of it because it was that bad.
That's a little inside baseball for all of you listeners out there. Every week we're like, I don't know if we're gonna get an hour out of this. This week I was really, really scared we were gonna get like a half-hour show out of this thing. Like I sat down on this chair, like, well, we'll be done in about 15 minutes.
Guess I got to start working on a best of episode.
Oh, dude, no, we can get almost close to an hour out of everything. But it's almost going to be like breaking down like IWCCW match, like the Joseph Oldie fucking promotion, where it's like, oh, good God. But
how many times can you talk about Vic Steamboat?
Well, dude, that's a great match. I love that match. It's one of
so good. They showed it 720 times.
That's why it's in my top 100 because I've seen it that many fucking times. God, this is a great show, guys.
Well, I want to thank Chad and Aaron for joining me once again this week on Reliving the Extreme. And there it is, another episode in the books of ECW's journey, Reliving the Extreme, with myself, Aaron, and Chad Austin. Again, I apologize for any audio issues that we had during the show this week. Internet issues are what they are, and that is what it is. But thank you all again for joining us. I would be remiss if I did not tell you, find Chad on Twitter, at Chad Austin Demera. Find Chad on Facebook and Chad's Video Vault if you are looking for any old school wrestling. I'm sure Chad can find it for you and get it out to you. So make sure that you are doing that, getting a hold of our buddy Chad Austin on the social medias. And I want to thank all of you once again for joining us on Reliving the Extreme. We'll see you next week. Hopefully next week's show that we have to watch is better, or Chad might quit. I don't want him to quit. But thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we'll see you next week on Reliving the Extreme. Have a great week, everybody. Reliving the Extreme is a production of Maxin' Out Media, all rights reserved.